Porsche may be best known for building amazing sports cars, but in the UK, it actually sells more of its Cayenne SUV than it does the iconic 911. Since its original launch in 2002, it has been redefining the category benchmark for dynamics. Plenty of SUVs may lay claim to being both premium and sporty, but the Cayenne is a genuine driver's car.
The Cayenne has never been what you call a pretty car, but it is athletic and now more aligned to the rest of the Porsche model range than it has ever been. These front headlamps are sleek and almost horizontal in profile, and the daytime running LED lights tucked into the upper corners of these gaping air dams are quite reminiscent of the Porsche 911. Around the back there's a large roof spoiler and a quartet of integrated tailpipes to leave you in no doubt that this is one sports orientated 4x4. Metallic paint is optional, but all versions receive at least 18-inch alloy wheels as standard. But if you like the sound of the supercar threatening Turbo S version, then you'll be treated to 21-inch alloy wheels, complete with wheel arch extensions. And if you're a company car buyer, or just like the look of these lime green brake calipers, then you'll be even more of a fan when I tell you that this e-hybrid badged version emits just 79 grams per kilometre of CO2 for some very tempting benefit in kind figures. Inside the Cayenne feels like a genuine sports car with a superb driving position, wraparound cockpit and a steering wheel borrowed from Porsche's hypercar, the 918 Spider. Granted, it may not feel as majestic to sit in as a Range Rover, and this sea of buttons festooned in the centre console may initially be a bit overwhelming, but there are plenty of organic curves in high quality leathers, married to these really nice bits of aluminium detailing for a very classy finish. Satellite navigation is optional, but all cars receive climate control, cruise control, an automatic tailgate and much needed parking sensors as standard. There are a few more buttons on this e-hybrid version too, key ones being e-power, which allows the car to run in electric mode only for up to 22 miles, sport, which combines both the V6 petrol and electric powertrains for maximum effect, and e-charge, where surplus energy is actually harvested to refeed the battery pack. The rear bench can tilt and seats two adults comfortably, but you're only going to fit a small child in this middle chair because the transmission tunnel is pretty high. There are a few further downsides. You can't spec a third tier of seating. The rear visibility is pretty bad because of these quite big chunky blind spots, and because the body line is so high, it actually makes parking the Cayenne trickier than it needs to be. That said, the boot is large and has a flat loading lip, plus most versions come with a spare wheel, with the exception of the e-hybrid, which instead houses a 10.8 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack for better weight distribution. The Cayenne is the most entertaining big SUV to drive, and that is by some distance. True, a Range Rover Sport will offer a more costing ride and is better off-road, but on-road, when you've got the damper set to comfort, the 8-speed automatic gearbox working seamlessly, the way this car grips and steers and changes direction and brakes and resists roll is just in another league, honestly. I've driven sports cars that don't feel as precise as this thing, and we're talking about a car that weighs in excess of 2 tons. All versions have the ability to astound, albeit in completely different ways. The top spec Turbo S is a total numbers fest. The e-hybrid successfully integrates a parallel hybrid system into a performance SUV, though bear in mind that the extra weight does dull responses somewhat. It numbs the ride quality and ultimately dilutes a little bit of that Porsche magic. So the biggest surprise for us is the Diesel S Hybrid. It uses a 4.2 litre twin turbocharged V8 that develops 380 brake horsepower and emits 209 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now on paper the e-hybrid has the diesel licked, but in the real world The diesel is better to drive, it's faster, and it's cheaper to run.
If you want one of the fastest, best handling SUVs around, then the Porsche Cayenne should be right at the top of your shopping list. It may not be the cheapest or most practical 4x4 around, but it's definitely one of the very best.